All right, goblet box squat. Now you can use a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell, you can use a weight plate, whatever you want to use, it's fine. Once you've got your weight, you're then going to hold it close to your chest. So holding a dumbbell like this in the goblet position. I'm going to come back nice and close to my bench. Here I'm using a bench, but you can use a box, you can use a chair, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. Ideally though, height-wise, you want it to be at about knee level, just below. Anything above knee level is probably going to be too easy, unless you're starting from a lower point and it's quite challenging, and that's fine if that's the case. Otherwise, anything sort of below mid-shin is going to be too low. So you want to find something in that sweet spot. Generally, benches in most gyms will be adequate height. So grabbing the weight close to your chest, feet hip width apart or just outside, toes slightly pointed out. Now for you, this might be different. You might feel comfortable pointing your toes in or further out, and you might feel comfortable with a narrow or wider stance. So don't be afraid to play with that based on personal preference. Nice and close to my bench, conscious of my posture, holding the weight in front, and then coming down, descending into the squat, sitting back onto the bench, standing up. Coming down, sitting down, rocking forward, coming up. One more time, down and up. Now, key things to keep in mind when performing this exercise. One, you want to maintain your posture. You don't want to be dropping your chest and just shooting your hips back. Aim to keep a more upright posture whilst performing the exercise. That way the emphasis will stay on the legs. Aim to keep the pressure of your foot on your entire foot. You don't want to shift the bias to your heels or your toes. Aim to keep a flat foot when applying pressure through the ground. And other than that, make sure you're not using momentum. So a common mistake you'll see is people will come down and they'll sort of just drop, and then they'll just rock up and use momentum to stand up. Remember, control is key. Come down, I'm in control. I'm in control, I'm in control. Bench is there, okay, sit. And then small rock, stand up. Control is key. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You should feel it through your thighs. One thing to keep in mind as well, just make sure your knees aren't moving around too much as you perform the exercise. A small degree of change as you move through the exercise is okay. If there's an excessive amount of knee caving in or out to the point where your your feet are peeling off the floor, then you need to correct that, potentially reduce the weight, that might help. Other than that, they should be tracking in line with your toes. Other than that, pretty straightforward. And if there are any issues, don't hesitate to record yourself and watch it back.